I'm working in a psychology clinic at the moment. So my work is usually with teenagers, a lot of neurodivergent teenagers who are struggling with anxiety, OCD, low mood.
And so you're trained as a ABA.
Yeah, I'm a behavior analyst. I've been doing that for over 20 years. And in the last, say, about 5 years, I've started leaning more into the ACT work because I would have been doing behavior support with teenagers and children.
And so how familiar were you with ACT when you first started the program with me?
I was quite familiar. I was doing it for a couple of years. I'd done a lot of the online introductory courses in ACT. I was getting regular supervision, ACT supervision, but I just felt like I needed to polish my skill set off a little bit more. I think I was rushing through the sessions. I had my plan for the session, and I was so intent on doing my part of the session that I probably wasn't responsive enough to the client or paying enough attention to how they were responding to what I was saying or how they were looking to lead the session. I suppose I had, because of my own like lack of confidence, I suppose I wanted to control the session and lead it. And I think that was the shift that I realized this isn't ideal. I need to be more responsive. I need to slow down. And I that's where I think the course has really helped me with.
Okay, so that was the biggest shift you were hoping for, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so what have you noticed then that's happened to that as you've gone through the program?
I can definitely feel it in my own practice that the sessions are a lot less structured, that I'm taking the lead from the client, where I'm following their lead, I'm paying attention to how they're responding to what I'm saying and going with them. There's a lot less me talking, a lot more them talking. I've definitely noticed in the last few months how cases that I would have been, and I still get regular supervision on complex cases, but cases that I would have been far more uncomfortable with, like leaning into the complexities, that's unfolding a little bit more naturally now that clients are opening up. I'm slowing down and giving them the space to open up and being more honest. And the role plays and recording myself was by far the most uncomfortable part, but really beneficial. You learn a lot just watching yourself. It felt really manageable working alongside doing the course. So, got the content each week from you, we reviewed it at our own time, and then we had the weekly group session. You had the time to go through it yourself, but we still went over it together then. It wasn't a huge extra workload. And I thought the group format, it's a very, very small group. So while it's not quite one to one, you get the benefit of hearing other people's experience, what works for them, what they're struggling with. You can hear their perspective that you learn from too. You get a lot of direct feedback and a lot of direct contact with you. Everybody's got their own worries about what they're doing. So it was a lot easier then to be open with people when you were comfortable. It was a small group.
How do you think important and useful was that deliberate practice element to the program?
It's really important because that's the uncomfortable zone. That's you stepping out of your comfort zone and doing the thing that is hard, but that's where the most growth happens, I suppose. It's very easy, like you were saying, in the bigger groups or the online courses where you're just listening to video, listening to content, and you're taking the box that, yeah, I've covered that process or that content, so I know it now. The
Mm.
difference being when you're actually doing the role plays and you're actually practicing it with others, you're putting it in you're putting it into practice. Like the difference between reading loads of books, watching loads of videos versus actually implementing it yourself and realizing, going, okay, that wasn't smooth as I would have liked or as comfortable as I would have liked. I stopped fearing the role plays, I suppose. How it was a lot easier each time we did them. I thought I'd hate that the whole way through, and by the end of it, it didn't bother me as much as it used to. It was such a comfortable group by the end of the course. Like I didn't mind whether you called on me at the end. I think each of us were the same. I don't think anybody loved doing it the first couple of times, but by the end of the course, I think we were okay.
So there's a message in there to anyone who's like nervous about that, that
Yeah,
you'll get used to your group.
yeah, and it's so useful. It's so helpful.